Hey guys, I'm Guy, and as you know, PewDiePie made a video where he plays a Lavender Town creepypasta. So this made a lot of people to go search about the Lavender Town myths, and even non-Pokemon fans wanted to know all about the Lavender Town myths, like Lavender Town syndrome was the most searched of all the things they were looking for. So today I'm going to talk about all those myths of Lavender Town. I'm going to talk more about the Lavender Town syndrome and the Lavender Town game creepypasta because there were some problems with the game that I will talk later. So let's just get started. Before I start with all these creepypastas, I will have to talk about the Lavender Town. Lavender Town is a place from the first games of Pokemon, from the first generation Kanto region. These games are Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Leaf Green, and Pokemon Fire Red. So before you say anything about Pokemon Green, I just want you to know that Pokemon Green came out only in Japan. So the game exists, but only in Japan. So the story behind Lavender Town is that Team Rocket, a criminal organization, killed a Marowak in front of his baby, a little Cubone. These are two Pokemons from the first generation, and because of that, because of what Team Rocket made, the mom is now hunting the tower where all the Pokemons rest when they die. And this is the basic story from Lavender Town. So now that I have said this, I can now go to the creepypasta. Three creepypastas that are really known of Lavender Town, and I'm going to talk about those three. The first creepypasta that I'm going to talk about is the creepypasta in-game. So supposedly when Game Freak started making the game, when they didn't launch it, they were making the game, they made White Hand and Buried Alive in the game, and people who tried the game saw that and start creating those rumors of the White Hand and Buried Alive. Those are two monsters that you see after defeating the Team Rocket in the tower, and by talking to the plates, they will supposedly appear, the White Hand and the Buried Alive. Though this is just a lie, it's proof that it didn't happen. Game Freak did that when they start making the game because of their manga, but nothing more of that. They didn't launch the game with the Buried Alive and White Hand because it was stupid, and so they didn't make anything about it. The second one, it's the music track. So this is famous too, the music track of Lavender Town. It is known that when you hear the music for a long time, almost in the finish, you will see in the track a ghost and a lot of unknowns. The unknowns are spelled to say "Live now!" exclamation point. So this is actually true, I think. If you do take the music, the original music, and put it in the track, you will see that by the end you will notice the ghost and the unknowns that say "Live now." After that appear, the music will start to get all messed up, and you will have to leave, or you will have serious problems in your head because the music really stay messed up, so you shouldn't fear to that. And the most famous rumor with the non-Pokemon fans and the Pokemon fans, it's the Lavender Town syndrome. So this myth is really interesting because supposedly when the Game Freak launched the first games in Japan, the game Red, Green, and Blue, when the kids between 7 and 12-year-old got to Lavender Town, the music started giving them a lot of headaches. But I will just get there later. I'm going to start all for the beginning. So, the rumors say that kids suicide when they hear the Lavender Town music, the first launched games of Game Freak. When Game Freak made the first game Red, Blue and Green, they tested the games only with adult versions, because the Pokemon at the time was so famous in Japan with all the mangas they had, that they didn't have no problems by testing with kids if it was fun or not. So they didn't test anything with kids, just with adults, to see if the game had any bug. So when the game was launched, kids start to have horrible head shakes by hearing the Lavender Town music. This was caused by the frequencies that the music had. Only fretted ears from kids could hear it, because in the 7 and 12 years old, it said that your ears are a little fragile at that time, so only those kids could hear the frequencies of the music. So when the suicide started in Japan, the Japan police took action right away, and they started to take all the games from the people that bought it. After some time, all the games were taken and new ones came out with the frequency problem solved. So I think, my opinion is that this really occurred. Not a lot of suicides, of course, in the maximum 13, because if it was more than that, the world would know this by now, because more than 30 people die by a game, it's not really good. But everyone has their opinions. I searched this in the internet, so I don't have really proofs that this is real. All that I searched, and I took a lot of time to search this, all that I made indicates to this be real, because it can happen. It's proof that certain frequencies can make people get so much head shakes that they can't do anything more, so they are desperate and they suicide. Kids are not, they don't know how to solve their problem, so they just think, if I fall down, the head shake will stop and I will be fine. Yeah, it's a pretty bad story, I know. It's a pretty bad accountment, but I think that it happened. The Lavender Town creepypasta game. The problem of the frequencies was solved, but in the video a lot of people got head shakes, and to some their eyes started to hurt. And a lot of people thought that they would die because of the Lavender Town syndrome, but it doesn't have anything to do with the syndrome. The truth is that when you hear the Lavender Town music too much, you get head shakes. But the video is too short for that. You would have to listen to the music by 15 or 20 minutes, and the video is not that long. And some people just can't have head shakes by hearing this music. That depends a lot on the people. So how do you have head shakes? Well, first, the game music is originally loud, and some people even have the sound in the max in their computers. The music already makes you have head shakes, putting it even louder just worsens it. Second, the game is in a really small window that forces your eyes to focus a lot of the colors in the small place. Obviously it doesn't hurt the viewer, because the PewDiePie made the game to full window in the video. So it would be just a problem to the person that is playing and not to the person that is viewing the video. Third, when you get out of the game and it starts to again all those flashing photos and flashing colors really annoy your brain, because it is trying to understand all the images, at the same time it is trying to understand all the colors, and at the same time you are scared and you want to try to finish the game. So your brain starts getting really confused because he wants to do a lot of things at the same time. That's why you can't understand the images that are happening. So, thoughts. In that last part, you can notice that the music changes and it becomes more annoying. In fact, that part of the music is a reference to the soundtrack story that I told you that supposedly happened with the ghost and the unknown. The part of the music starts being all messed up. So by mixing the Lavender Town music more with this mixed up music, your brain stays really annoyed. So your brain doesn't like the flashlights, the flashing photos, the music. The music is really annoying. I had to put the sound really low so it doesn't hurt me, and it still did hurt me, that music. So it's just on purpose. They just do this on purpose. Fifth. Again, in the last part, you notice that the image is always stretching up and down, and that just complicates the game more, just complicate you trying to understand the things more. And the problem is then that when you try to read something, the letters are two having the same effect. They are going up and down and left and right. This causes the eye hurts because it's just like to read in a moving car, but worse, because the letters are always going to a side and the other, and then stay bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. So it's just a really bad idea. They make this on purpose, and I didn't like it because I got the head shakes and my eye hurts, but not a lot, just a little. But I got really hard head shakes, so it's a really bad thing that the game did, because not any scary game makes this. So it's unique, yes. I think they did this because of the last part when they say that your nightmares follow you. They make this on purpose to you. Didn't need to think that it is really happening something in your real life. And if you put all those factors together, you will understand the reason for your head shakes and for your eye hurts. Of course, some people are resistant to these things, so some people didn't have this problem and they are just saying that we are lying and something like that. Maybe because we are younger than those people, I don't know, but some people don't have these head shakes. So there is one more thing that I want to talk about. It's about the name of Miths appearing in the game. A lot of people don't understand this. This is quite obvious. This is a really obvious thing that happened in the game. When you close the game before it opens again, it assesses to your name in the computer, because in the computer you have to put your name or you have to give a name to the computer, and it accesses to those names and it puts in the game. So that's why it appeared the name Miths, because the name of the computer, or of the name that Miths puts in the computer, it's Miths, of course. So I hope I helped you a lot. If you have any doubt, just write it in the comments. I will answer it. My English it's not that good, so if you don't understand something, just ask me. So I hope you enjoy, and stay tuned for more of this cover.